Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining. I guess I'll just jump right into it if that's all right. Is there a time that you first fell in love with nature that kind of guided you to this role or
So it's basically like I have studied forestry for my undergrads. After that, then I just joined the National Biodiversity Centre. So it's where I work. So the Royal Botanical Garden is under the National Biodiversity
Oh,
Centre.
okay.
So I'm
Right.
actually working as the manager of the Royal Botanical Garden right now.
Okay. And was there a reason as to why you had studied forestry or when you were younger or
Yes, it's actually biology was my favorite subject growing up. So
oh
from the ninth standard till the 12th standard, I was always like more towards biology, and then so it's like I have more interest towards biology. And then after my year 12, then I thought it was better to join the forestry section. When I was in year 12, then we had this classes on how to dissect all those flowers and stuffs. So that's interesting.
You said that the project came up at the Center of Biodiversity. Was it how did that idea come to be? What got inspired by it? And yeah.
Yes. So we had this project, Nature for All. So we had it names like Nature for All, an inclusive nature garden for people with disabilities. So it's a project supported by the Jeff Small Grants Program under UNDP Bhutan. So we have a group of youth, they're named as Zhenphen Group, which is basically like helping others. But these group of guys, they are also disabled. So they are a group of basically more boys who are blind. So they
Mhm.
came up with the idea, and then they got the support from UNDP. So we worked in partnership, and then our main idea was to make the Royal Botanical Garden more accessible. So before it was like we had a slight accessibility, but the footpaths and all were like stones. So our first idea was to make the footpath more accessible, and then after that we started incorporating like signboards, and then braille like though that braille thing where
Yeah, the
the
rains.
people with blindness, they can also read all the signboards and stuff. So we're still in the process of doing all these things. And then we also had uh, ramps and railings, so now it's more accessible to all. It's useful, like even the elderly, even the children, they are easily using the footpath and stuff. So we also have this. It's also a part of this project only. So we are also uh, constructing this accessible toilet. So in a way, it's more like we're more advocating on being inclusive.
In general, just to
Yeah,
be able to cater to many
yeah,
needs.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
then it's more like people initially like, especially in Bhutan, we do not have much accessible parks and stuffs. So it's, I think, an issue almost everywhere. But then now we're starting to address these kind of things.
Yeah, it was really touching having watching the video and seeing their
Yeah, yeah.
experience and not being able to go out or
Hmm.
remembering in the past what nature
Yeah.
felt like, but now they were
Yeah.
able to, which was really sweet.
Hmm.
And has there
So we
been,
still, yeah.
it's still a work in progress for sure.
Yeah.
And has there been more changes from that video until now, or is it just continuing what was put in place?
Uh, so the garden has seen more visitors as a result of all these video, and we also have our botanical gardens Facebook page, so we constantly update there. So now we are seeing a lot of visitors, especially the people with disabilities. We're seeing more visitors from that section as well. So I think it's helping.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, it also extends to the elderly and
Yes,
just,
and the
people.
kids.
How was creating this project? How was the experience?
I think it was a great experience, and through that project also we had a, a session like a 1 day training where the Disabled People's Organization of Bhutan. They gave us a one-day training into how we can properly talk with the people with disabilities, or how we should better interact. So I think that made changed our minds, and now basically working with our partner Zhenphen Group, so we're more comfortable. Initially, when we interact with especially people who has a sort of disability, we're like, it's not that we're differentiating them, but then it's in our minds that we feel like, oh, they are a bit like that, so we feel we do not even go and then talk to them, like interact with them. So now that we know how to deal with them and how to approach them, so I think it has a lot of benefit. Our staff, all the botanical garden staffs, we had that one-day training, and I think it has helped us a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Just being aware of how to be more
Yeah.
inclusive.
Mm,
Yeah, that's nice that they gave like a one-day training, because I guess a lot
yeah.
of us don't know necessarily how, and
Yes.
hearing it from them
Yes.
must be
Hmm.
really like a collaborative
Yes.
project.
So,
Yeah.
and also to supplement the funding support by UNDP, the small grants program, that fund was not enough. So we applied to the Australian Volunteers Program as well. So from there, we also got some support, and it
Mhm.
was able to, we were able to install the signboards, and then we were also able to support the Zhenphen Group with some music lessons.
Oh,
So I think it
that's so
was really
fun.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, because in the video, there's someone playing the guitar at one point.
Yeah.
So
They're currently learning how to play all the music instruments. In fact, on
every
Monday
single
we're
one.
going to, yeah, have this rehearsal. I think on Thursday the UN Assistant Secretary General is visiting, so we're preparing a program only for that Nature for All
Oh,
project. So
in
they're going to
music.
play live music and
Wow, that's really
yeah.
cool. Has there been any difficulties in this whole like project process?
There wasn't any difficulties as such, but COVID was
Right.
some, I don't know, it was basically present everywhere. So because of the COVID, I think our construction phase, I think it was a bit distorted somewhere, but
Mhm.
then we were able to put them together, and I think everything worked out fine.
Yeah, is most of the garden indoor or it's both? Like ex
Uh, the garden is outdoors. It's
fully
like,
outdoor?
yeah, we
Mhm.
have an area of 32 acres,
Wow.
but people are accessible only like half of it. During the initial stage, I was uh, like being the manager of the botanical garden, and having that project was more like, okay, so I have to be a part of it. But now that we have done that, and I know how it feels, and how uh, there is this thing, like I was interacting with our friends, like the Zhenphen Group and all, and then we have our partners from SGP, the Small Grants Program, and then we also have our friends who guide us on how to deal with people with disabilities, like from friends from the Disabled People's Organization of Bhutan. So now I think I'm more towards uh, being able to, I don't know, how, create awareness and to
Mhm.
advocate on disability and being inclusive in general. I think it's an important issue to discuss, and then to be like aware for everybody. I think it's nice to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's lovely because it's like you were surrounded by it and you got people to kind of guide you through it, and now you feel
Yes.
confident in
Yeah.
spreading that message
Hmm.
to everyone.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah. So now I
Um,
think it's become a part of my life as well. It's
yeah,
really nice being
yeah,
able to at least be there.
yeah, and just even apply it to other parts of your life too, I would assume, like,
Yeah. Like now where I'm on a personal level, I think I'm more aware. Our project mainly started from the Nature for All, the concept that you guys have,
right.
especially our friend in the UNDP. I think he's he's also very concerned, and I think he feels for like nature and for everybody. So he was also one of the main person who brought us all together and worked for this cause. So I think
Same.
our main inspiration was from that only. And then especially during COVID times, we were all locked in, and then we felt like, oh, like we are able to go outside, but then the people who are living with disabilities, like even if there weren't no COVID, still it's the same for them. So that's the main thing, like how this project came into being.
Yeah, that's great. Even though it was COVID and everything, like it made
Mhm.
people think of a different
Yeah, yeah.
lifestyle that people have to live. Yeah, that's for
Mhm.
sure.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.